We have made some pretty unbelievable leaps and jumps with technology. It's harder and harder to actually be surprised and like shocked by products because everything's moving so fast and technology is so amazing that it's kind of just expected. But this little thing just seems super fun. The fact that this is like literally the whole case is crazy. So let's unbox it. So first off, the reason that I got this is not at all to replace my GH5 or my Ronin S or any of my bigger equipment. It's got a specific use that I'm thinking I want to use it for, and it's this YouTube channel. While I love gimbal shots and I love being able to get that kind of stability and that kind of motion and just cinematic shots that you can get with them, we all know that gimbals are kind of a pain to carry around, and so my thought was, so to me it makes sense to just have something that I can bring around with me all the time and really get those shots when I need to, but not have bulk when I'm just walking around. It's so small. Oh my goodness. All right, so I'll say right away, it is way smaller than I even thought. Like, I knew it was small, but it's unbelievably small. And for a completely unnecessary size comparison between the Osmo Pocket and the Ronin S, the Ronin S has never looked as large as it does right there. What's impressive though is it's really small, but somehow it feels really well built. Like it's built well. Here's the little case that it comes with. So being able to just put it in here. Very slick. Okay, so let's turn it on for the first time and see what this thing does. Okay, so it is turned on, it's working, it's charged. It's still unbelievable how incredibly small this is. So I'm gonna go take some test shots with it. One thing I noticed right away that's a little bit annoying is you can't actually adjust any of the ISO or white balance settings on the device itself. It has to be plugged into here in Pro Mode to actually be able to adjust the ISO and the shutter speed and all that. While I think that a lot of people will use it, obviously plugged in like this to the actual phone because it's a bigger screen to see anyway, I would really prefer if they can do a firmware update that would allow me to change it, because being able to just pull this out and use it is really what I ultimately want to do with it more than anything, and I don't really want to actually have to connect my phone. So it'd be sweet if they could add that, but reviews are only so much. Let's go out and shoot a couple things. Okay, so this is just some light gimbal action as I'm walking, just holding the phone. I'm actually holding the phone, not even the gimbal. That's how light it is. I can just hold the phone and it just will just stay. But it is pretty cool, the face tracking thing, because it would actually allow you that if you had, they make like what I think is like a long selfie stick or something, that you could kind of do some vlogging type stuff like this and it would keep your face kind of nice and in frame, which is pretty cool. So I'll switch over now and let you see what the actual rig looks like. You can see how incredibly small it is, that it can actually hold from my phone like that, but you can see that if I'm walking, there's the difference of me walking with the RX100 versus with the gimbal, so you can see stability. So here's walking. This is 24 frames a second on the Osmo, and I'm just gonna walk. I'm not gonna try to overthink the walking. Just walk straight and see how the gimbal does. I'm not even doing any fancy gimbal walking like I do with my big rigs. I'm literally just walking. Okay, now I'm looking at the trees. I think it's unbelievable that they could even put a gimbal on something this small. It's really cool that technology has come to what it has, but yeah, pretty impressive. I've now taken the gimbal out of the stand and I'm holding it with just one hand, which I think is actually probably the much better way to do it. It feels much easier to keep the thing steady. I may be lying, and in post this may not be the case. This would literally be like the most portable, small vlogging setup ever while still being steady. It's just, like, it's so small that you'd feel funny actually using it because you'd look like you don't actually have a camera in your hand. This is how small it actually is in my hand. It's just crazy. So you can see it has a little box around my face. That's how it's actually doing the tracking. And so if I move my head, it follows me, which is pretty neat because you don't really have to worry about when you're walking whether or not your camera is directly straight or not. See how that works? So if I were to move it like this, it still turns and follows my face. Also, in case I didn't say it earlier, this is a totally non-biased review. I was not sent this for free. I bought it myself through B&H. So just like I expected, it's a little noisy. It's definitely not gonna be great in low light, but I wouldn't really expect that to be the case because it's such a tiny sensor. But a lot of these shots inside were taken at maybe 800 ISO, 400 ISO, and it's definitely a little noisy.
Okay, so this is just some light gimbal action as I'm walking, just holding the phone.
You can definitely notice some movement in the up and down walking, which I expect. I kind of see that in gimbals in general, but I was not trying to obviously walk really steady like I do when I do with my actual gimbal, the Ronin S. So it definitely could improve for sure. Audio is not terrible from it. Surprisingly, the audio is not that bad. Obviously, my audio from the lav is even better, but it's not terrible. So similar to how I felt about getting the Mavic Air for the first time, the idea being that the Mavic Air was so convenient for me to always just have with me that I get drone shots that I normally wouldn't get because I don't have the bigger drones with me. Being able to put this in your pocket or in a backpack or something that you can literally just pull out instantly and start recording is amazing. The fact that the startup time is no time at all and that you can pull it out of your pocket, press and hold that button, it's powered on and you're ready to shoot. The built-in screen is there. I think it could be a fun tool for people to use, and it's just so small. I will say that on my YouTube channel specifically, I'm going to really challenge myself to be able to use a lot of these new portable tools in a different way because of the fact that I have audio externally now with my lav setup, and I'm using the RX100 to bring around with me as just an everyday vlog setup. This makes it really cool to be able to have a nice portable setup, having a gimbal with this. The RX100 has a nice small camera, but always being able to have them consistently with good audio is just awesome. You've heard it said before that the best camera you have is the one that's with you, and I think that that's where this little gimbal will end up winning for a lot of people because it's not about whether it competes with your big gimbal or your big camera setup, because it doesn't. But where this wins is that this can be where the other ones can't. They also make a waterproof housing for this that allows you to actually get these kind of shots underwater. DJI is just a very smart company right now, and they're making products that are just blowing people's minds, that are affordable, they are consumer-based, but also pros can use them for just supplemental things, and I'm pretty excited to see what I could use it for. Hopefully this first impressions wasn't too boring for you. I don't like to give too much in-depth reviews when I first open a product because until I actually use it, I can't really tell you what I think, but I'm excited to take a look at what the footage looks like and give my review. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you liked this video. If you do, maybe subscribe. If you like more of these type of videos, I'll do more of them. Gear reviews are fun. I love new gear. I love testing things. I like seeing kind of what's happening. And if you like it too, let me know.